the buzz coming in was fun because everything was like Tiger and, the Eye of the Tiger music. And here he goes. He's going to come out and do his Tiger stuff. And it was just a dud. LA Golf obviously played well. But when you're playing average to well against a team that's playing poorly to terribly, I still like the vibe. We talked about this the last couple of days. I still like the vibe. I still like that on a Tuesday night, we were watching guys in prime time. And I know it's a hit and giggle. It's supposed to be a hit and giggle. But in that press conference, they had to yuck it up at that point because they were awful. So I have a feeling there's a little bit of embarrassment involved in that too. But I don't know how much you guys think is the structure of the event versus just a team that played awful, right? You look at that team, and you've got Kiz that hasn't been playing well or much. You got Tiger that hasn't been playing at all, and you have Max Homa. So you had 2/3 of the team right out of the gate that were suspect before a shot was hit. Notwithstanding hopes and dreams and what we want to have happen, I'm just talking about pure reality. Is that a fair assessment, Dom, on week 2 of TGL? We're not going to do a forensic analysis every week, but this was the first week that Tiger played. Next week is the first week that Rory gets out there.
There's a lot to unpack with TGL. And I don't think it's all bad or all good. I think it's a really interesting mixed bag. I could envision a time and place a year from now where it absolutely has an audience, where it is absolutely entertaining, it is different, it is unique, it is fun, it is golf, it's all those things. But they've got a lot of bugs to work out, in my opinion. When you have live sports, one of the problems with live sports, and it's just a reality of live sports, is you can't control the outcome. And the first 2 events for TGL were massive blowouts by one team over the other. And they don't have the rules structured right now in a way where one team can come back from that, really. And I'm not sure that you should do that because then it negates the whole point of all of it anyway, because when one team is you get 10 points on one hole and then everything switches. It doesn't matter how good or bad you play. So the blowout thing is a problem. But I love the shot clock. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that I'd love to see that somehow incorporated into traditional golf week to week.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the shot clock right now becomes like a report card for players who are, call it what it is, slow. Right? When you're watching players that are going down to just the last few seconds before a shot is executed, especially on a putt, for example, when you're down to the last few seconds every single time, is that the ultimate, as I call the report card, where somebody goes, yeah, dude, maybe you should be thinking about how long it takes you to pull the trigger when you feel like you're ready to go. I know they didn't mean it to be a source of revelation.
Certainly, there is a delineation between the guys that are. I would use I think the word Justin Rose used at his press conference was deliberate, and you could absolutely see that Sahith Theegala and Justin Rose are deliberate.
Yeah, but
they were getting way under 10 seconds for every shot.
Again, call it what it is. Deliberate is the announcer's code for a slow player. Oh, he's very deliberate.
Yeah, so you get to see in real time, because during the tour event, they're jumping around, right? A traditional golf event, they're jumping around a lot. A lot of times the producers will just show the shot as it happens and then move to the next shot as it happens, so you don't watch the whole process. And even though I think the rules say it's 40 or 50 seconds for a shot, no one's really paying attention to that. No one's really timing that. So now actually getting to see that in real time, you can see, man, he has taken a long time.
They should allow it to be a strategy. Like if you get into the playoffs and you're higher seeded, have a better record, you're deemed the home team, whatever way you want to define it, then that team should be able to make a decision like, your max time is 40 seconds, but you can cut it in half. Something like that. As a strategy. If you're playing against a team where where they have a player or players on the other side that are deliberate.
There was a strategy last night where each team gets 2 timeouts. The rules are very confusing. That's another thing. I can't even explain them. They're so confusing. There's so many of them.
But I also think they need to do a better job of constantly telling people what's going on with said rurules. I was sitting there watching it with my wife, and Donna kept asking me, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, I'm trying to.
I think the rules are too complicated. I think, again, when we were talking earlier in the week I used the FedEx Cup as an example of something that just needs tweaks. The rules need to be adjusted. They're too confusing in general. But what I was saying is that Tiger called a timeout to ice the other team. That was his intention. So he didn't call a timeout because he needed it. Justin Rose was taking forever over a putt, and he was right over the putt getting ready to hit it, and Tiger called a timeout and made him stop his process.
Wasn't it 9-1 at that point?
Yeah, it was. But I'm just saying, you can see where if it was tied, again, there's a lot here that I like. If it was tied and it was 6-6, and it's a pressure putt, in those circumstances, I could totally see icing the player and the pressure of it, and et cetera.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So there's a lot of aspects to it that I really like.
What we need
the
next
players
week.
have not gotten used to the greens, though. It's the turf stuff is.
That's what I was talking about yesterday, right?
Yeah.
There's something.
They're struggling with it.
There's something off in terms of now they'll figure it out because they're the best in the world. But there's something off in terms of how that surface releases the ball. I was talking about yesterday in week 1 that it would dig its toes in and would grab and the ball wouldn't release. Yesterday it started releasing more, which I don't know if they put more angle on the hydraulics or whatever. I have no idea. But there's something off in terms of that artificial complex compared to, as I called it yesterday, Mother Earth. So we'll see how that plays itself out.
Yeah, it's just not. The players will get used to it, I think, but it's just not traditional grass. So they're struggling with that, I think, a little bit. And also, they've got to get used to and you heard some of the press sound. We've got more coming up from Justin Rose and them, and they discuss it. The environment for these guys, this is so different for them. Especially
they're nervous too. That's all part of it. They're very, very nervous with what's going on, and I'm sure their first time around they're getting used to what these, in some cases, crazy holes look like. Which, as it mentioned to you yesterday, I like. Some of them are a little far out there. I'd like to see them also. It's nice
that there's a differentiation. You know what I mean? It's totally different than what we're used to, which is good.
Maybe it's a rights thing. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this, but I would like to see them. I assume they have to go through the full wave of all the teams playing the full fantasy courses first. But after you get through that, I would love to see some kind of themes brought in. Like, again, unless there's a rights fee involved that none of us know about because it's behind-the-scenes stuff, play Augusta National. Or play the 4 courses that are hosting the majors this year. Right? Wouldn't that be cool? You could actually build it up as part of the promo for that week's event. Or
I don't like that.
You don't like them playing real courses?
I don't like that.
You don't like them play courses that you know?
No, I don't. I think they're going for totally different. They are the audience that is traditionally watching this program, for example. I don't think they're trying to get those people to watch this. They're trying to get the people that are watching Bryson DeChambeau's
Wait a minute.
Let
Let me ask you a question, though. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get people that are interested in playing simulator golf, too. And are you telling me that people who play simulator golf don't play the best courses in the world? They're not playing the old course? They're not playing Augusta National? Not playing Pebble Beach? What do you think they're playing? the mystery, the fantasy courses, and I don't have any problem with the fantasy courses. All I'm saying is, let's weave some stuff in that we know. I mean, literally, what's behind you? You have all these monitors in your studio monitoring everything. You're watching everything, and what is behind you? It looks like Pebble Beach.
My argument.
Am I right about Pebble Beach? Yes or no, counselor?
About what?
Behind you, is that not Pebble?
Yeah, that's Pebble.
Okay,
yeah.
I rest my case.
But my point is, Matt.
You've made your point.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
wrong.
This is my opinion. My opinion
that should be your tattoo, Dom. Your tattoo should say, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm speculating. but in my opinion,
yeah,
I think that their intention is not to have, like, the target audience for them is not someone who's familiar with the golf courses you're talking about.
I don't believe that. I just don't believe. If you've got people that are into simulator golf, they're not showing up going, and I don't have an issue with the fantasy golf holes. Don't get me wrong. I just think it can be woven in with real ones. I just don't believe a kid, even if he's 14 years old, isn't putting Pebble Beach up to try to play it. Or the old course. Once you know this game, you want to play cool stuff.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I don't think if you're a 61-year-old male golfer who plays at your local country club twice a week, I don't think that the promotional elements, that the way they've designed this league, the ESPN-ness of it, they're not going after that person. They're not interested in that person watching this product. I think they're looking for a totally different demographic, and that's what they're aiming at. Do you disagree? Do you think they just want anybody to watch? They've got to be focused on something here.
I'll answer that question. My opinion, as you like to say.
Yeah.
Which
speculate,
is some type of, I don't know why that when you say that it qualifies it somehow. Because I always thought up until you said that, I always thought you were giving the opinion of some other guy you just met in the streets. I didn't know it was yours. But here's my thoughts. They want that guy you just described. The 61-year-old guy who plays golf twice a week at his private country club, I think is the way you described it. They want him.
Yeah.
But they also want the coveted 18 to 34 demographic. They want that player too. And they're going to get the people even younger than that as well. Everybody wants that coveted younger demographic. In golf, it's a very interesting pursuit because that younger demographic, while it is the fastest growing golf demographic, please underscore, which makes it important, it's not the one that's buying the products at full margin or going out and buying luxury cars and financial services. They will.
You know who they're chasing based on the commercials that air, Matt. They're not running commercials for Lexus and Rolex.
Yeah, no. Whoa. Hold on a second. I watched a luxury car commercial about 10 times.
It's lower price point stuff. They're going for younger people.
It's an $80,000
with less
car.
money.
It might be lower price point to you because your wife's a doctor.
Yeah, right. Lower price point to me, right. I don't have a ton of negative things to say about TGL.
Sounded kind of negative to me.
No, I don't. I think there's a lot of good there. I really do. And I enjoyed aspects of it. I think it's going to be this would be my final thought. Final speculative thought.
Final.
I think that it's going to be a breeding ground for developing the personalities of the players who will be the stars on the tour. And I think that there are players that are a good fit for that and players that are not. I think Max Homa is a perfect example of someone who can become an absolute rock star.
And the member of their team that wasn't
like
there,
TGL.
Tom Kim.
I think Tom Kim will also end up being an absolute rock star. It's
going to be really
because of this. But I also think, not to name names, but I also think on the other side,
but you're going to boldly go down that road.
On the other side of the coin, you're going to have players that are unbelievable golfers. They're very special, but their personality is just not entertainment blockbuster. I think Collin Morikawa is one of them. I think Collin Morikawa could win a major this year, but I don't think TGL is going to help his personality glow. They're different personalities. So
I think that aspect of Collin's makeup, Like if he had more of a Max Homa personality or more of a, what do we call Ricky has? It factor, I don't know, what do you call it? Sex appeal, I don't know what you call it. But Ricky was pretty much quiet that whole first week and he didn't play well at all until he threw the flag down in front of Lowry. And that was really funny. And that was like one of the highlights that everybody played. Like, wow, he must have been yucking up the whole time. No. But I think that Collin Morikawa could be the biggest star globally in the game of golf because of where his game is at right now, multiple major champion, but it's that last it factor that he doesn't have or hasn't been willing to reveal to the same level as those other guys. Right? And I understand people out there are going, well, that's just not him. Lay off him. I get it. I'm not saying he needs it. I'm not saying he has to have it. I'm just saying if he had it, I think he'd probably be the biggest global star in the game because he has everything else. He's got the game. He's got the good looks, blah, blah, blah. He's got all that stuff that people want. The it.